Recently, my friend Les Hayes was sitting on our deck talking to me about his adventures as an electronics specialist on the border of Russia and Turkey in the 50s. This and a recent scene from Foyle's War on BBC that talked about the plight of Russian POWs in England after the war brought back a flood of memories of an incident I had in Austria in 1947. I was in the army attached to military government in Linz, which was Hitler's hometown, and my primary job was to collect population statistics from the Jewish displaced persons camps in Upper Austria and phone them into Frankfurt. Another job was to be present at the slaughterhouse to observe the slaughtering of kosher cattle for the Jewish DPs. Why they needed me there is beyond my ken. The incident I referred to earlier is when I was dispatched with a driver, an interpreter, and a Russian officer from the other side of the Danube, which was the Russian area of occupation, and then to travel into the DP camps in our American zone in order to give the Russian the opportunity to convince Russian DPs to return to Russia. I had no idea of what I was getting myself into. What I didn't know was the Russian DPs had escaped from Russia for a number of oppressive reasons, and they realized that if they had returned, they would probably disappear off the face of the earth. The Foyle's War episode, while it referred to POWs and not DPs, reminded me of the desperate situation I had been in that day.
Long time. You want a drink?
Thank you. I've heard about the coffee.
It's the best coffee in Hastings. The only coffee that tastes of coffee.
It's good to see you open again.
We should never have closed. No aliens allowed in Hastings during the war. So, who are you looking for? I probably haven't seen him. What's he done?
Well, nothing as far as we know. We'd just like to talk to him.
And what makes you think he'd come here?
Well, doesn't everybody, sooner or later? Certainly used to.
Yes, maybe, but not him. I haven't seen him. If he's done nothing, why do you want to talk to him?
Well, he may be in trouble.
There are a great many Russians in this country, POWs. They could all be in trouble.
Meaning?
There are rumors. Joseph Stalin wants them back, and he will not welcome them with open arms.
So they're frightened.
There is a saying, you may have heard it. The dog knows what happens to him when he steals the bacon. Until now, the British government has protected them, but it is possible that that protection will be withdrawn.
Well, his name's Spyakov, if you've not able to ask around.
I can try. But I must tell you, Mr. Foyle, right now, people are not talking, not to me. And when they talk to each other, they whisper.
Do what you can.
Of course.
Good coffee.
I remember one occasion where the Russian officer would show a young woman who had two of her children beside her a photo of her mother and father and tell her they were begging her to return to Russia. The anxiety on that woman's face still haunts me. she decided to stay put. I imagine for her own and her children's salvation. After I returned from that sojourn, I remember being called into the office of the head of military government in Linz and had to give him a full account of what happened that day. Also, a short time later, two guys from CIC or CID invited me up for drinks at the Hotel Bozen in Linz. They got me schnockered and questioned me again about the activities of that day. If any of you are interested, you can go to YouTube, search A Portrait of Me as a Young Man, Part 2, and go into about 10 minutes of it and see more of the episode at the Bozen Hotel. There were many others that came to our office on Zollernstrasse, desperately searching for lost family members. I remember a beautiful young Polish girl named Janina. She was about my age, and who had been traveling all over for about a year looking for her mother. I often wondered how those people could have survived that horror. Maybe they didn't.